All right, Chapter 1, Problem 41. In this problem, we're doing a series of unit conversions going between the metric system and the English system. So I've sort of started by putting out some things here to help us, so that I don't have to write them down now. And I've also gotten out some conversion factors that we are going to need. All right, so the first problem, or the first part of the problem, part A, says that we have a new baby. And the baby weighs 3.91 kilograms and is 51.4 centimeters long. And they want to know what this would be in pounds and ounces and in inches, which is kind of standard for American hospitals. All right, so we take the 3.91 kilograms and we need to change this to pounds and ounces. So there's a little bit of a trick to this one. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change this kilograms to pounds. Okay, and the way we're going to start with doing that is we start our conversion here, and we have kilograms here, so kilograms need to go on the bottom and pounds need to go on the top. So now we come over and we look at our conversion factor and we see that 1 kilogram is 2.2046 pounds. Put that here, 1 kilogram here and 2.2046 pounds here. Okay, so now we come over to our calculator and we type this in. This always gets tricky for me. 3.91 times 2.2046 equals 8.619986. All right, so now the way we change this into pounds and ounces is we start with that 8. And we come over here and we say, all right, that gives us 8 pounds. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to change the fraction of a pound to ounces. Okay, so we can come over here and we say let's round that to 62 pounds times 1 pound to 16 ounces. Okay, all right, so we come over here and we say 0.62 times 16, and that gives us 9.92. So that can be rounded to 10. We come over here and we can write 10 ounces. So this becomes 8 pounds 10 ounces. Okay. All right. So the second part of A says that our baby is 51.4 centimeters long, and we need to change this to inches. Okay, so this is a very simple conversion. 2.54 centimeters is to 1 inch, and that's the one that we have that's exact. Okay, so we put our centimeters on the bottom and our inches on the top. Right. Now this is very straightforward. We just come over here, clear out our calculator, and we say, okay, we have 51.4 divided by 2.54. And we get 20.236, and they tell us to round to the quarter of an inch, so this 0.236 becomes 0.24, which is very close to 0.25 for a quarter. So our answer here is 20 1/4 inches. All right, excellent. So now we go on to B, and it tells us that the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference at the equator. And they want to know what that would be in kilometers and then again in meters. Okay, so we start by saying, well, here we have miles to kilometers. Okay, so I cross off my miles in order to get rid of that unit. And if I look up my conversion here, I have 1.6093 kilometers to 1 mile. So that is what I will fill in here, 6093 to 1 mile. Okay, again, all these conversions are on the back, or on the inside of the back cover of your textbook. All right, so we'll go ahead and punch this in, 25,000 times 1.6093, and on the calculator we get 40,232.5. All right, but if we look at this, we can only have 2 significant figures. So if we round this to two significant figures, that becomes 40,000, but that's not two significant figures, that's only one. So we really need to put it into scientific notation to get this, the two significant figures. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 bits there, and we get 4.0 for, and then for our decimal point, times 10 to the 4th kilometers. Okay. All right, but now they want this in meters. Okay. So then we know this. We have kilometers here, so we put kilometers and meters. Okay, so this was kind of the first part of the answer. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay. So we come over here and we see this. We say, okay, well, times 1,000. Okay. Oh, and now my calculator didn't give it to us in scientific notation. Yours might. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's as to be expected. 4.0 times 10 to the 7th meters. I should have circled that answer too. There we go. Okay. All right, excellent. Okay, so now next, part C. I'll zoom out a little bit. C describes a rectangular solid. So the first thing that I did is I drew it. Okay, that is by far the best way to do that. And then they tell us that they want us to find it in meters cubed, liters, inches cubed, and feet cubed. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start out by saying, oh look, we're in 1 meter, 2.1 decimeters, and 5.6 centimeters. Okay, now that doesn't work. We need everything to be in the same unit. So the first thing that we're going to do here is to change these. 2.1 decimeters, and there are 10 decimeters in 1 meter. So this becomes 0.21 meters for this dimension, and 5.6 centimeters when we have 100 centimeters per meter. Okay, this becomes 0.056 meters for this dimension here. Okay, so now we can find our first one of meters cubed. Okay, and remember, volume is just length times width times height, so we would say 1 meter times 0.21 meters times 0.056 meters. Okay. So we bring out our trusty calculator and type this in. And we end up with 0.1176. Okay, but I can really only have, oh, now I think that was 0.10. Okay, so there's two significant figures that we can have, and that gives us 0.012. Okay, so this is 0.012 meters cubed. All right, step 1. All right, now the next one is to decimeters cubed. Now, this can be a little bit tricky. We have to convert a cube to a cube. Okay, so we use our last answer, 0.012 meters cubed. Okay, but we don't have a conversion factor that looks at meters to decimeters. Okay, so again, remember this that a liter and a decimeter cubed are the same thing. That's why we're going to use decimeter cubed. Now I use this, it's back in your textbook if you can't remember it. So I have meters here. So well, I can say I have 1 meter is to 10 decimeters, but they're not cubed. So if I want to cube them, I have to cube this whole piece here. Okay, so I would start with this unit here that says 10 decimeters. Now if I want to cube them both, I have to cube all of them. So I cube the 10 and I get 1,000. Okay, and then I multiply that by my 0.012 and I get 12. Okay, so this becomes 12 decimeters cubed. Okay. Now the next part of this is they have inches cubed. Okay, so this might take a minute of getting. Let's find our feet cubed first, actually. All right, so I'm going to start again with my 0.012 meters cubed. Okay, and now in the back of the book, this is rather frustrating, but they give me the number of yards in a meter, but they don't give me the number of feet in a meter. Not so helpful there. Okay, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of fancy footwork here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, if there are 3 feet in 1 yard, then that means that there are 3 times 1.0936. Okay, that gives me 3.28. I'm creating, you know what, I won't do it up here. I'll do it down here. Well, maybe I will. 3.2808 feet in 1 meter. Okay. All right. If you didn't follow me there, ask me during office hours what that means. Okay. All right. So again, I need to compare these again. Here I have meters to feet, and I have to put that cube outside. So you cube everything here and here to cube the feet, cube the meters, and cube this number, which is 3.2. Whoops, sorry. 2808 feet to 1 meter. Okay, so I come over to my 3.2808 and I hunt for mine's a little tricky. All right, here we go, and I end up with 35.313378. And I'm not going to use all of that because it's just too much. I'll go ahead and keep the 35.3, we'll say. Well, actually, I'll just leave it there and then multiply it by 0.012. And I don't have to write anything down. And I get 0.4237605, but I can only have 2 significant figures. So this becomes, whoops, 0.42 feet cubed. Okay. Now I need to change this to inches cubed. So again, I'm going to be doing my cube within my problem. And I have feet on the tops. Oh, I need feet on the bottom to inches. And I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, so I come back to my calculator and I cube 12 to get 1,728. Hopefully that's correct. Times 0.42. Okay. And I get 725.76. Again, I can only have 2 significant figures, so that rounds to 730. Oh, I'm going to find it down here. 730 cubic inches. Okay, so that is how you do one of those, and those were great practice for how we use a cube in there when we're dealing with volume.